Hello everybody and welcome back to our 4th Age Rhovanion campaign. Here we are fighting Dale, who has attacked us in the southern slopes of the Grey Mountains just north of Hjorth, about a little while northwest of the Lonely Mountain. And the ground here is, well, it's maybe workable. We started off in deployment right down here, but there's this nice big slope to our left. The problem is that the AI is going to be deployed centered on this point, and so a considerable length of their battle line is going to be over here, and that means they won't have to march all the way up to the top of the hill. So we'll see how they're positioned here. Actually, that's better than I thought, so let's quickly rush everybody over. Now, one interesting thing about this AI army is that there are 2 family members, but only one of them is the dragon, the dragon slayers here. The other is this unit of Framsburg Guard, which is right here, I think. This is an infantry unit with swords, very good armor, but this is a family member. This is a unique family member unit that the AI, or Dale, can train. And so it's nice to face them, I guess, rather than another heavy cav unit on the one hand, because I think they'll be pretty vulnerable to our archers. I think I want to aim. What do I want to aim at? Hearth troops are probably a really good target. Spears are good as well, but these guys are going to be more vulnerable to the arrows, so I think it might be best to aim at them. And then I think the big dangerous archer here are these Company of the Black Arrow. I think we're going to be okay. You can see that they're trying to outflank us to the right. They're going to waste a little bit of time doing that. I'll let them go in that direction for a while. This is just giving us some free shots, basically. Okay, here they come. Looks like they're going straight up now. 60 men. I don't know if we did any damage to them yet. Oh, I guess we have. So they may have started with 70 or so. So this is very good so far. We're in a decent position. We've got our Rhovanion foresters right here, just ready to pepper the enemy infantry as they come up the hill. We've got a unit of spearmen that I will want to try to use well. Ideally, you'd use that against their cavalry, of course. But in this fight, we may be pretty much compelled to use them just to pin anything so that we can get our cavalry around. We do have some longbowmen as well as these archers, but given that we've got the terrain superiority here, I'm not too worried about their archers. So I'll keep plinking away at their heavy infantry. Got them down to 28 though, so maybe it's time to aim at a different target. Dale mounted watch over here, Dale mounted watch over here, and then the bodyguard there. This is their faction heir, actually. Pretty soon these guys are going to start firing at will, which I guess is okay. There are 2 units of black spears here. Yeah, there's one. There's the other, right in the center. Alright, so I'll halt these guys so that they can withdraw. If they're going to charge me with their cavalry straight up the center, then I've got my spearmen right here, as well as, you know, I think enough cavalry to do the job. It would be great if we could take out the enemy general. Yeah, he is charging. So we'll just let him do that, throw in the spears now, and let's throw in my cav. A couple of Rhovanion scouts. Looks like we are going to catch them with their spears, but he may have connected with some of my infantry as well. There goes the enemy general, though. All right, let's bring the other cavalry down into these guys. And let's bring my riders out of there if I can. Alright, I really need to have these guys grouped up. I'll get the spears over there, I guess. And let's just send March Wardens at these guys, and they'll rout instantly. Alright, Dale Watcher charging. I wonder if I can get my spears out of the way. Let's get the Rhovanion Axemen in, and we got a bunch of routing happening over here. But I think I want to pull back because I want to get some good charges. I don't want to get sucked into a melee with the black spears unless I know what's going to happen. I don't want to have my cavalry how about that? I think the black spears are mostly over here. I'll send the general in after the Hearthmen. Actually, I don't want to hit those woodman spears. Hearthmen are going to be gone. Let's send our skirmishers after their spears there. We got some Dale Watch. Black spears down here. What happened? Enemy commander, enemy commander. Okay, so that's good. Set these guys up and we'll turn. Okay, Dale Watch is coming back. We'll get the company of the Black Arrow with the March Wardens, or at least aim for that. And with this cavalry head down here, I think we got them. And what's that? Some cav I lost track of. I'll bring you guys back. Yeah, at this point we got it. The Black Arrow are on the run. Everybody's on the run, except those who are fighting to the death. So this is very good. Yeah, we're going to continue this and just mop up the battlefield. Now, of course, this is not the end for Dale, because they have the ability to train most of these units. They can't train the company of the Black Arrow again, but they can train Black Arrows, which are a somewhat weaker version of that unit. So they can still train Hearthmen, they can still train a bunch of Black Spears, and I'm sure they still have the economy as well as the population to support all that. So we need to have not taken a lot of losses here, and I don't think we really did. I think we did quite well. March Wardens are still looking great. I think we lost hardly any men there. And even in terms of our scout cavalry, looking quite good. We may have lost a few of the longbowmen mercenaries, but we've got our full complements of our archers, basically. And our skirmishers are also looking pretty decent, even though they may have gotten caught. So now what we have to do is have an opening so we can get some of their cities, like particularly Dale itself. Alright, heroic victory. Yeah, we lost less than... Okay, we lost about 50 or so. There could potentially be another large-ish army off to the west. Probably full of woodmen and so on. Because they have Framsburg, which is right over here. But I don't really think they do have that, because what we saw, the Framsburg Guard, that unit starts in Framsburg. So I'm guessing that the army that we saw was largely composed of that Framsburg force. Okay, so it looks now, yeah, see how I've already got like another quarter stack or a third stack, even though the garrison in Dale is not tiny by any stretch. So we have to still be very careful because we're going to be going through the woods. I don't know that I want to bother with Hjorth just yet. Just making sure there's nothing waiting for me. Okay, yep. So 2 more Black Spears. Riders of Dale. Okay. I'd love to get down to Esgaroth. Now, I could possibly get here, but we might get ambushed. One of many problems with this is that if we fight in the woods, that's not really good for our fighting style. We really want the open. I know that on one hand we seem like a hit and run kind of ambush military, given our units are not super strong in a straight up fight, but we really need the openness, and I need it just as a human player because I can't see through trees and stuff. So I'm not going to be doing myself any favors by camping in the woods. On the other hand, I don't necessarily just want to hit this army because they may just let us fight them. They've got 2 archers, and you know, taking on black spears when they're just sitting there is a really tough proposition, and I don't just want to park on dwarven territory either. So I think instead I'm gonna go right down here. I'm gonna use my movement points. I'm gonna risk it. And fortunately, we didn't get ambushed on the way. And so hopefully the dwarves won't come and attack us. And maybe this army won't either. We'll see what they do.
At your service. Secrecy is assured.
All right. Okay. Yeah. A couple of hearthmen and 2 black spears. We got to get rid of this building, the King's Barracks. This is where they're all coming from. Okay. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in another turn or 2. And we're making a tiny bit of cash. Tiny. And this is because we are facing some severe problems in the south. We've got our army down here, which successfully took Lithmore Chant and gave it to Rhovanion just to make sure Rhun couldn't immediately get it back, or if they did, they'd be going to war with Rhovanion, which would keep both of them busy, maybe. But we do have a problem of our capital being under siege and Yathin Ra being under siege, both of which are quite important to our recruitment. We do have this army here. And I think they have to go this way. But I think I screwed myself here a little bit. Because I can't defend both. Alright. Well. Oh geez, and we got a stack here. Ooh, the ruler brought of the hunter. Well, Bray Gestalad does not have walls. This is a chance for us to take another settlement. Probably keep it, because honestly, this one is the one that that doesn't border the other factions. So I don't want this, because I don't want to have a border with Rohan, or another border with Rohan, and with Adunabar, or with the Reunited Kingdom eventually. So this is kind of a buffer for us, keeping us away from the other factions. But I could take this and hold it. I need it anyway. I need to get this for my victory conditions, you know, at some point. But I need to get this, and I'll grab this and then just keep pushing east. So if I do this, you know, maybe it'll call out one of these armies. But it's a question now of what settlement am I basically letting fall. Yathin Ra, we do have a family member here. This is my capital. So that's something. And the army here may not be very strong. I could also try to set out reinforcements from Nerig Zigil. This army couldn't get to Nerig Zigil this turn, so I could take out everybody but my heir. If we get out here, we could get there next turn. They don't have siege equipment this turn. I think we can hold that off. Now then, I really wanted to use this army to go this way. I mean, you know, the plan was to take this settlement and then push east, and then I wouldn't have to worry about these little armies because we'd be pushing east so well. But the AI is not complying with that. They're doing, you know, kind of the smart thing, which is distracting me with all these little armies so that I can't take their settlements. So I guess we're going to have to send this army back, because this here, well, we probably could hold it, honestly, depending on what these other units are. If it was a bunch of spearmen, no. But if it was more like warband, archers, light cav, axemen even, then we could do it. But I think what we have to do is do a sally with these guys as reinforcements. And now we've got a much stronger force around our capital. We can clear out the other armies of Rhun. And then free up our forces to push east eventually. It's probably a good idea to keep a decent force around our capital, though, anyway, because at some point Rhovan is going to attack us. I just know it. Alright, so our reinforcements are coming from the north. Northeast, so somewhere up here. But we're going to set up right here. Not sure exactly what the AI is going to do. Sometimes they move right, sometimes left. Alright, yep. Alright, so they're going towards our reinforcements, which is fine. And yeah, so they've got a warband general, it looks like, which is great news. Either warband or archers. I guess it's the warband. Just 2 units of axemen. Nothing very scary. I don't want these guys to get away. We need to eliminate their forces here. And they don't have too much that can hurt us, you know, on the way out. Like, they do have that 1 unit of archers, and then all the rest is just spearmen, skirmishers. Actually, we may not need to run, but if they're just going to set up here, then we can kind of take our time. But what I'm worried about is that they will not just wait to set up. They'll kind of run. Now, I don't know why these guys are not entering the battle. This is extremely annoying. I mean, there's no reason for them not to be coming out. It's good that I have some ranged stuff, I guess, but I'd rather not do this with just these units. I'm kind of counting on the other cav. Tiny unit of archers and skirmishers approaching. That's great. I'll be able to deal with them. This is our king, actually. Maybe I need to stop them from moving and let them come out on their own initiative. Alright, they're pursuing our guys. So now it's just time for us to choose our targets. Yep, okay, skirmish, please. They have 2 units of skirmishers left, and actually that's it for ranged. So a good opportunity for us to deal with that. All right, great. They're gonna go back, and so we can hit them in the back as they approach. They're already shaken. I'll be careful with this. We need to be very methodical because we have to preserve our forces, especially since these guys are not cooperating.
Fighters.
Okay. They could send these skirmishers over at us again, which again would be fine. A couple of units just facing us generally. In terms of hitting them, I mean, we got some very tough cav here, so I think we could do this all with cav if we had to. We would take losses. All right, so they're actually coming out. I'm going to move my spearmen back and away. See if they come close enough to be hit from the towers. I guess not. Alright, this is actually great, because our guys should skirmish away, and then they'll give up, turn back, we'll be able to get a bunch of shots on the back. Probably the worst problem with Rome Total War AI is what you're looking at right now. I mean, they're going to catch us because our skirmish is not the best, apparently. But the fact that the AI will send out like one unit at a time to chase away your archers, give up, turn around, get shot in the back, allowing you to just murder entire units. Doesn't always happen, but very frequently it does. Alright, let's get out of there now. This is warband with some skirmishers, so I'm going to actually send my guys over towards the general. Okay, they're actually single-mindedly chasing that unit of hunters. Let's bring a spearman all the way back to the gate. But we've actually whittled them down quite a lot. Even if they catch the archers, I'm not too worried about it. I'd rather not have to retrain a bunch of them. All right, let's go over here. Actually, let's just keep running them around the walls. Okay, they are really following us here. I mean, anytime you guys want to get in on this, that would be great. What's the matter here? Just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so skirmishers, warband. All right. Every now and then you have these silly battles. So they're losing. They're winning. I think we're going to be fine. We'll have to retrain them. What's that? Skirmishers. Did they get some shots in? They possibly did. Alright, well... Those axemen back there are routing. We got those warband to rout, and let's throw in here. Actually, we didn't lose a single. Okay, there they go. The losses gradually did catch up with them, but just a couple. Generals routing.
Press forward so the spirit of his army is broken too.
And there goes our king.
That it should come to this. Your leader has thrown his life away.
Oh my gosh. It's times like this when the Rome Total War voice actor guy really gets on your nerves. But he was an old king. I half expected something like that might happen in this battle because as you get older, as your characters get older, they get traits that make them more vulnerable, you know, fewer hit points in battle, so they're less likely to survive. Okay, we've got a bunch of freaking skirmishers here hitting us. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring the king all the way around, and I guess we'll do the same with the cav, because honestly, we don't need to chase those guys. By the king, I mean the few king's bodyguard units that are remaining. I'd like to think we could hold out against these skirmishers and rout them before the axemen get here, but maybe not. Yeah, I think we're going to be routed. Well, they are losing. Not now, they're winning easily. Yep. How annoying. Alright, screw it. Just jump in, rout them, yes. Alright, so once again, our March Wardens did a lot of heavy lifting, took very, very few losses. And we'll just end the battle here because... ugh. Those kinds of battles where it's just stupid little tiny skirmishes where the AI is doing dumb stuff on different corners of the battlefield. And it's not dumb. I mean, I guess those axemen that were chasing my archers just YOLO'd and it worked out for them, kind of. Except that it didn't because my archers turned around and slaughtered them. So it's just unfortunate. We would have lost our king in a little while anyway. And... you know, I guess that's that. But the unfortunate aspect of it is that now we don't have a governor here anymore. We could have maybe had another turn or two of building. And I probably should have done that. But let's see. We've got some profits that we can use. So I'll use it to retrain those guys. We've got enough population. This isn't really much of a problem. And I think we will retrain a lot of these, not for the... not for the manpower necessarily, but for the experience. You'll notice a bunch of these guys have 1 silver chevron, but a bunch of them have 3. If you're trained here, because we've got the highest level of cultural conversion building, the Lord's Feasts. Well, actually, it's not even the highest level, but it's just higher than the other places. We've got some experience modifiers going on, so that's this is a good place to be training, basically. And what do we want to train in terms of new stuff? I guess we could go for a unit of Rhovanion nobles, but I think The March Wardens are taking 2 turns now, though. These guys take 4. When you've got a good general in there, and usually when it's a faction leader, they do get some bonuses in terms of training time. So maybe we'll go, since we've already got 3 March Wardens here, let's go for a cheap and effective Rhovanion Scouts unit. And then we'll sort of switch it up with some infantry because the population there is not too bad. Over here, we'll worry about this later. And here, we will also worry about this later. And you know what? I'll probably do this fight off camera, unless it looks like there's something spectacular happening. But let's just get over there in position. And what we'll be able to do... Let's see, if we assault, is that going to bring in reinforcements? No, it's not. So we can just assault this. This is just a single nobleman. And we'll do this off camera because this is going to be a pretty straightforward siege. We're going to use the archers to kind of lure him out of the central square, and we're going to countercharge with, like, you know, all of our cavalry. We don't have great cav here, but I think we've got enough, you know, to do this without too much loss. And then we'll be able to bring in these guys down to the south because they are not too threatened, although we will have to watch for Rhovanion. So that's the plan for the future. When the next episode hits, what we're going to be probably looking at is dealing with the fallout from this, as well as what Dale is going to do, because it'll be the AI's turn, and we will see if they're going to attack us in the field or if they're going to regroup, maybe go back and garrison a city. So we'll see if we can make any lasting gains, but at least in the north, things are looking good. In the south, manageable. Okay, we can deal with this, I think, but it's not ideal. So join me next time when we hope to get ourselves some initiative against Rhun and hope to really clinch the deal in the north. Until then, take care.